Well, here we are back in the engine room. As you can see, the deck plate frames are going in. It's quite a time-consuming job because it's the tank top is so wobbly. You have to make all these stands and blocks and everything you can see there. But coming together, it's going to be a nice expansive area, the deck plates. Just have to get more brackets made on the sides, and then 5200 and fiberglass them to the tank top, and then screw it in place and then put the plywood in. Down here's the fuel connection for the generators, and the one with the T there, that's for the fuel priming pumps for the Jennies. So you won't have to walk around with a little can of diesel. You just press a button and fill the rake hose up when you do a filter change. Much simpler and less chance of spilling fuel everywhere. The hydraulics for the bow thruster, as you can see, have been, the pump's been connected up and the hoses run. Down the side of the generator there and over to the tank. The suction and the pressure line have been connected. They changed the ports around on the block at the top there, so they were running on the port side instead of the starboard side to make it all simpler. We just have to extend the 3 hoses by a few feet there, just down here. Just put the extension hoses on up to the blocks. Before we do that, we're going to hook up a pump and flush hydraulic fluid through with a filter to get any crap out the light before we start anything up. Now the generators are hooked up now, all the cooling water is done on both of them, the batteries are installed, the remote panel, and yeah, I've been running them, got about just half an hour of operation on them or something, but yeah, they start right up. I'm running them off a 5-gallon bucket, so get a little bit of air in there when I stop it. So once we got the fuel on the tank sorted out, I'm going to get maybe just 500 gallons of fuel on board. Then we can start to circulate it and run everything directly off the tank. Yeah, the battery and everything is sorted out on this one too. As you can see, the exhaust is all in and done, all painted up. Turned out quite nice in the end for the generators. Same on this side. And we ended up, we fiberglassed in a U shape there for the Jennies and glassed it in to the frame. You can just see through there, so it's quite a neat installation. Also, we've also mounted the main distribution panel. There's no wiring in it yet, but it was just too heavy to try and wire it and then put it all up in one piece. I had to put it up in sections. But that's to come up soon. And this is what you'll see when you walk into the engine room. There'll be one of these each side. And this will be your start and stops for the ventilation fans, and then for the engine room lights. And on this other side, on the port side, the box will have the lights for the DC lights or emergency lights. So keep everything well illuminated. We're also sizing up for the engine preheaters. Make a bracket for that. And also for the oil change system, which is going to have a cable tray running down parallel this one here that holds all the fuel lines, so we'll have an oil line on the port side going at all the engines and gearboxes. Still having problem getting Mike over here, MTU Mike. He's waiting on some pins now, some of these plugs. I guess they have to come from Germany or something. Some special ones, and he wants to do it all at the same time. But getting a bit peed off with them, but not much I can do. We got all the multi-conductor cables from him, and they're already ran to all the boxes in readiness for him. So just waiting him to get here with the pins to get everything soldered up, and we'll be good to go. And then after that, it's pretty much the engines are ready to start, so it'd be good to hear them run, that's for sure. Here's the main breaker distribution panel, which will go alongside the selector switches down there on the main distribution box. So these breakers will send the power to the various pumps and circuits around the boat and up to the sub panels. And the relays here will be powering up the fans and other pieces of equipment that need a contactor to start them. So that's coming along too. And then over here are the generator filters. I have a little electric fuel pump next to it, so like I say, when you change the fuel filter, you drain off the fuel, and then you'll just press a button and this will pump fuel into the filter to fill it up, and then you can bleed through the system and bleed the filters on the engine as well. So you can do it all very quickly without sloshing fuel all over the place. So a handy little addition. Alright, we're down in the forward locker where the old Raycore filter used to be. This is where we've got the two freshwater pumps here and the fiberglass pressure tank. And where the filter actually was, we've put the hot water tank. So we have that all braced and bracketed in as well, so that's pretty secure now. And we have the cable tray across the bulkhead for running hoses and cables. Make it nice and simple. And on the other side here we've got a duplicate pump. This is your saltwater washdown pump with pressure tank. So just like one pump fits all. Keep it nice and simple and straightforward. Pumps are mounted on vibration beds as well, so keep the vibes down. It's all pretty standard off-the-shelf pumps, nothing fancy marine or nothing, so easy to fix and replace. So just the overall plan, just to try to keep everything nice and simple. And here is the passageway going into the master cabin. This is where I finally decided to put the electrical sub panel. For several reasons. It's kind of midship, you know, and easy access to all cabins, or the bilge area, the pump compartment underneath here, and also up into the galley. So we've already got the power fed up here. We've got the 50 amp cable. This is one of the old boxes that I had sandblasted and powder coated, so it looks like new actually. Just waiting on some back ordered breakers to come before we get the actual power hooked up, and most likely going to put another box below it that'll house the 220, and then we can feed the air conditioning and the water pumps from here, so you don't have to keep running backwards and forwards to the engine room if you're working on something. So nice easy access, not taking up too much room, as you can see. In the closet, it'd be easy to hide it. Nice easy access to everything. So after all the options, that's turned out to be the best place to put it. So in the end we'll just put a wooden door on it with a hinge, so you won't even see any of it. Yeah, I had the day workers remove the hydraulic pump for the crane. I'm just going to get some extension hoses and we're going to put that below the deck in the compartment down below. I don't think there's any real need for it to be in the closet, you know, so may as well put it in the pump space where all the other stuff is. So we have that off. I'm going to pull it apart and just put a new electric motor on it, and it should be good to go. So here we are up in the wheelhouse now. This is the remote start-stop for the port generator. This will be mounted next to the bow thruster control, so you can start the thruster up from the wheelhouse and shut it down once you're out to sea, you know, without having to go down there. So we run the extension cable, so should be able to hear it run. Yeah, so it's coming together. Good to get a bit of noise in the boat. Starts to feel like a real boat again.